super excited because I'm here with my brother. This is his first time on the channel, so first of all, welcome.
Thanks for having me. My name is Cyrus. I'm a videographer, photographer, and I do a lot of the little arts and stuff. So yeah, that's me. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So today we thought we would bring you a little something. A lot of people are always asking me, Diamond, like which apps should I download when I come to Tanzania, when I come to Africa, when I travel around the world? So we're here to bring you the top 10 apps that you must have on your device when you are traveling. Let's get right into it. Absolutely everywhere I go, even when I'm here in America, is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a way to connect with people all around the world, and it's a complete free app. It's so important because usually when you text someone or you send pictures or something like that internationally, the fees can be really expensive, and it's a free way for you to communicate. So definitely, if you don't have WhatsApp on your phone, you need to get it right away.
I agree. I like WhatsApp. I'm not that familiar with it, but when I do speak to people internationally, that's the app that I use, or text. You know, they do video, right? They do video, audio recordings, and all that stuff. So I like WhatsApp too.
Yeah.
So the second app that I'm going to talk about is Currency. Currency is basically an app where you can translate your currency. It's basically a translation app, but for currency. If you live in America and you're trying to travel to India, you can see what the currency exchange would be there, and you see how far your dollar would go. See how much cheaper or how stronger or weaker the dollar is in certain places around the world. So, and they have like almost all the countries.
Yeah, almost all the countries, and there's so many options. In the App Store, if you have an Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. There's so many options, and they are free versions, and you can pay for some as well. I think the third one, what I would have to say, is tying back to all of that, you need Wi-Fi in order to be able to have that. So I would definitely say the Wi-Fi sweet spot. It's an app. I'm pretty sure it's a free app, and what it does, it locates the Wi-Fi that's around you. So let's just say you're like, oh my god, I need to contact somebody, I need to contact my brother on WhatsApp, and you have no idea where's the nearest Wi-Fi. You can go right in there and it will let you know this cafe has Wi-Fi, this cafe, so that way you can be able to get to there to have one. So I definitely recommend that one as well.
The fourth one, the fourth one I would use is Google Translate. I don't know any other language besides English and some Spanish. Maybe a sprinkle bit of Italian, but that's it. I don't know anything else. So I use Google Translate if I traveled to Rome, and I was a little strong in a few words, but then the other words I couldn't get together. But and that's one way to use it. They have a voiceover, or that's usually good.
Yeah.
The voice is a little choppy sometimes, so but it's it gets the job done.
It gets the job done.
And then you can also type it out. But yeah, I like Google Translate. Some people, I had a bad experience with Google Translate, but that wasn't Google Translate's fault. It was the person who had an attitude with tourists. So yeah, but other than that, I think it's excellent, and you can talk into it. I think that's the quickest way that you can do.
Which is great. Is absolutely great. If you have not seen my video where I almost got kidnapped in Thailand, you will see that Google Translate app practically saved my life. Truly, it practically saved my life because I had no way to communicate with the 7-Eleven people. So you need to get that app. If you don't have that translator app, make sure you have another app that does translate as well. If you just say you don't like Google. The fifth one that I would say is TripAdvisor. Guys, most of you know what TripAdvisor is. I think it's super useful because once it put the tours out there. It tells you the accommodations. It shows you the things that you want to do. If you want to go hiking, you want to go to a museum, it has everything that you may need. And it also has tours that you can see and kind of see around the prices and stuff. Sometimes you have to be careful because the prices be a little high. So what I do is I just get the information and then I go to my other sources to try to see if I can get it cheaper. But I recommend it if you're like, I want to go to Jamaica, but I don't know what to do.
Right. I mean, TripAdvisor, I like TripAdvisor for like excursions and like to go out to see what is around. But TripAdvisor, yeah, I would do what you said. Basically get the name of the company and just call them up directly and be like, hey, like, what is your actual prices? And sometimes you can skip that loophole because, you know, they do have like fees and all the stuff that they add onto it. So, but it's a good source to figure out what's going on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I like this app. This is going to be number 6. It's going to be Airbnb. I like Airbnb because it gives you a lot of options, and since there's one source of basically traveling housing, there's competition on pricing. So you may find certain that there may be a lot of rentals in the area, and they're competing for the lowest prices to try to get you in there. And they hook it up really nice. You have to be very careful though, and you have to read the description because there may be some things that, you know, are important that you might miss, like maybe they don't have AC, or maybe, you know, they don't allow pets if you're traveling with a pet, or you know, you have to be in or out by a certain time, so you have to be careful. But they have they really stepped it up, and on the quality of housing that they provide internationally.
Housing. I also think my brother actually taught me this because he went to Rome, and I think you paid for like a hotel or something like that, and he noticed that every day he had to go out to buy breakfast. What's really nice about an Airbnb, especially if you have an entire apartment, is you have a kitchen, so you can be able to save some coins, okay sis? Save some coins and cook your breakfast because it will save you money, and then maybe later on you can have like a nice beautiful dinner and things like that. So for some
I think it wasn't Rome, it was Orlando, I believe.
Oh, really?
Orlando. And it was a hotel. I mean, it did have breakfast, but I prefer to make my own breakfast because I'm a health freak and I want to know exactly what I'm putting in my food. So having a kitchen, I always do entire places. I don't do rooms. I don't do shared rooms, or I don't do, you know, like shared apartments. I always do entire place or something like that because I need my space.
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
So this app is definitely one that is a lot based here in America, but in a lot of different countries, there are very similar apps. It's Groupon. So that is going to be number 7. We're at number 7, right? Number 7 is going to be Groupon. The reason why I really like Groupon is because there are a lot. Sometimes it's unbelievable, the travel deals that's there. Mm-hmm. Like, they will give you the gateway to heaven and be like, yo, $5.99. $5.99. You're like, what? Are you serious? There's so many things that you can do and get amazing deals with hotel, flights, and all that stuff. I can give you an example. I went to Puerto Rico, and they had something that was very similar to Groupon. Don't quote me on the name because I don't remember. But it was very similar to it. And we ate at this restaurant, and we went on the thing that was very similar to Groupon, and it was like, you can eat a whole meal and everything for like $30 when the night before we spent $100. We ate there every night with that Groupon. But I think it's important to look into those deals because if you can save anytime, definitely let it be.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with TripAdvisor and something that you have to read the description because let's say you get a great deal on, you know, international, maybe you want to go to China, they usually have certain what's in the description where if it may not fit your needs or what you want to do for that particular trip. Maybe the flight actually leaves from a different borough, a city or town, and it may be too far to get to, so you have to read those things, and they'll tell you if food is included or anything, or what is on you. Maybe the taxes are not included, so you have to do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's when you travel overall at all. You should always do your research with everything.
Read the fine print.
Absolutely.
Number 8 is going to be Uber. I know this is, a lot of people use this locally, but you can actually use this internationally as well. This is not everywhere in the world, but I think Uber may be the most well-known international local traveling.
You get the
transportation.
deals.
Yeah, you get the deals.
The license plates.
Right.
In Tanzania, they definitely have it in Tanzania, especially in Dar es Salaam. And it's useful. It's definitely useful.
Yeah, and sometimes it is the cheapest. If I'm going from somewhere, when I tell you, me and my friend Jalissa, we were stranded at the airport. Like, we just left the airport and we didn't know how to get to the Airbnb. We didn't have Wi-Fi, so we didn't have the Wi-Fi smart spot, and then B, we didn't have Uber, so we had to haul a cab, and I think that cab was overpriced. Absolutely. So, you have to watch out for that. Uber, is definitely one of the go-tos, especially if it's in a different language and you can't read the maps, and the bus, it's just a mess.
Yeah, especially if you guys don't speak the same language and you're trying to explain to them where you're going. With Uber, you put in the location and they just take you right there, so it makes it much easier. I would agree with that one.
Yeah,
definitely.
Especially if coming from a long flight, ain't nobody got time for that.
Facts.
Get you right in the Uber and go home and then figure it out tomorrow.
Period. So number 9, you guys are gonna be like, well, of course, but I feel like it has helped me a lot. Especially, I like to stay organized. I don't like to forget anything, especially when I'm traveling. When it comes to my meds, because I'm allergic to pretty much everything. So I always have to have an e-pen, and if you're traveling with a kid, you need a checklist. So whatever you prefer to have, there are so many checklist apps that you can have. I think iPhone even come with one. Please download yourself a checklist to make sure you don't forget anything. Trust me, I know someone who went on a cruise and forgot her passport. Oh. So she could not get on the cruise. So do a checklist, double check everything, make sure you got your passport, make sure you got your itinerary, don't forget your kid. Don't forget everything that's important to make sure that you get there on time and you have everything that it is that you need.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Checklist. And that actually is going to be a segue into the next 10. Is going to be Google Drive. In Google Drive, I basically put everything in there. I put the itinerary there. I also put the checklist. And that's something that you can access anywhere, and it'll be in the cloud. So let's say your phone is dead, or you have no way of accessing your personal belongings. You drop your iPad in the river or whatever. You can go somewhere and then use a hotspot or a Wi-Fi smart, and then access your Google Drive from anywhere, and then have that information ready. So, but when I do my itineraries, I do everything spelled out, my flight, my this, the time, how I'm going to get there, where I'm going to be staying, blah, 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 what I want to do, the prices, and I do all that in Google Drive. And then Google Drive also has, calendar, where you can put things, set things up on the calendar. And then they have, what else they got?
They got maps, which I think is super important, because you can map out like where your hotel is compared to like where your attraction is, so you see how far it is. You can kind of start planning out. Yeah. That's my favorite one on Google Drive, I would say.
Yeah. So the Google Drive is fantastic, and it's known internationally. So.
Also, you can share it with your friends and family. So usually every time that I go traveling somewhere, I usually share it with the family, so they know like what I plan on doing, where I'm at. It's not like I can say, well, here's a piece of paper, and then he loses it or something. So it's useful to be able to have that, so that when someone knows where you plan on being, or at least they have the area and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, guys. So that concludes our top 10 favorite travel apps that you should have when you are on the road. It's been so much fun. Thank you so much for being on my channel.
Thank you. I really had a good time.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks.
So where can the people find you?
So I'm on Instagram, Cyrus Jules. I'm starting to get a little bit old-fashioned, so I don't have that much social media. Instagram and then Facebook. So and just Cyrus Jules, CYRISJEWELS.
And if they're interested in your work, he has a website which I will put in the description below.
Yes, I do have a website, www.cyrusjules.com.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.